Hey everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations, and you're with Simon today. I've got another video for you, and this one is on the asteroid Lucifer. So give you a little bit of background in terms of why you are witnessing this, why this is on the YouTube, and why I'm actually sharing this with you. I had a moment of inspiration a couple of days ago. I think it was 2 to 3 days ago, and that inspiration was linked with just an insight to how we as human beings can relate to this asteroid, not only in our personal journeys, but also to see it how it operates in the collective. One of the ways in which Lucifer has showed up for me recently has been through the exploration of something that I'm deeply fascinated by, which is the consistent deconditioning and liberation from the old paradigm in which we as human beings have been evolving through. Okay, so the Pluto and Capricorn context. And I'm actually quite excited about doing a video on Pluto and Capricorn called Recognizing the Ancestral Karma and the Inheritance of all of our previous actions. But for today, we're going to focus on the asteroid Lucifer. And so for any of you that doesn't know what the asteroid Lucifer is, if you go to a website called astro.com, right, www.astro.com, and you get your chart drawn up. I encourage you to use the house system porphyry. I'm not saying that each system is different. I encourage you to use porphyry because I've noticed some really profound insight that comes from that. And what I want you to do is I want you to put into the list where it says, where you can put in asteroids, 1930. Okay, so you go to astro.com, you get your chart, and you put in the asteroid 1930. And I'll put a link in the description to a video that shows you how to actually draw up a chart where you can put asteroids into it. Okay. So once you've got that up, you identify where this asteroid is and you look at it in your house system. Now, I also have a video on YouTube that I did regarding the deeper exploration of Lucifer. And so go check that out, and I'll put the link in the description as well. But for today, the inspiration is very specific, okay? As you can see, the imagery that I chose to use is of a person with a flashlight looking into the darkness. And I want you to really focus on the imagery that I've chosen for this video, because it is what it means to understand the essence of this asteroid, okay? Right. Each of us comes into this lifetime and we have these two polarities. And these two polarities are yang and yin, okay? Masculine, feminine. The feminine energy can be perceived and seen as the darkness, the blackness around in this picture over here. It's completely dark and it is completely absorbing. It is completely absorbing. It is completely enveloping, right? The darkness envelops everything. And it is also a place of deep, deep receptivity. Okay, now this is beyond our social context and definitions of how we have broken down the different layers of how feminine and masculine energy shows up. Okay, so this is not to be confused by feminism or any of the sort. It is simply the energetic expression of feminine and masculine energy that I'm sharing here. And so the darkness is this. And then when I see the flashlight, I see the masculine form that is in this world, okay? The consciousness, the awareness coming into the physical form, right? That is essentially just in deep receptivity. And it wants to understand and explore. It wants to go into the darkness. It wants to know the nature of its existence. And this is why the natural expression of feminine and masculine is always feminine receptivity, masculine penetration, right? Moving into, okay? These are natural laws that can be validated in all different ways in which life shows up. So the flashlight is the representation of Lucifer. It shows up and it's this bearer of light, and it says, here is my existence, right? We all have this body. We all have the context of our form, right? We have our social conditioning. We have our family dynamics, and what we have within this family dynamic is, why are we here? What is this all about? And every single one of us at some point has deeply, deeply contemplated the question, what is my existence? What is the purpose of this? When we implore and we bring in the Lucifer consciousness within to ourselves, it is that context of going, I'm going to investigate that. I'm going to explore it. I'm going to go deep into the nature of my yin polarity. And I'm going to explore what this is about. I'm going to go into my life. But it is not something that's going outward into the world. It's going inward. And as we explore inwardly within ourselves, we explore the vastness that is our creation. So you heard me talk, I think, 2 videos ago, where I mentioned that there's one description, one way in which this is expressed was from Nassim Harem, and he talked about sacred geometry. He used sacred geometry. This is the way in which he transcribes this knowledge. And he says, do you notice that there is a form, a circle, and inside the circle is space. And then in that space, there is infinite potential. When you look out into the world and you ask yourself the question, okay, there is just vastness of space, and there are millions of people roaming this place, most of us lost, going, where are we going? What are we doing? What's the purpose of it? And because of that feeling of lostness, we hold on to something that provides us with security. And that psychological and emotional relationship is to the structures that are put in place that we routinely support in order for us to feel a sense of safety. When we go inward and we start to awaken the inner sense of self, that flashlight that's there is our awareness firing into our internal space and recognizing that the body is that outer realm, that outer sense of definition that he's talking about in the sacred geometry circle. And when we go inward within to ourselves, we experience the vastness of non-limitation. Your awareness, your consciousness, your inner exploration is directly relative to the boundaries that you have within inside of yourself. So the more you open up your consciousness, the more you open up your awareness, the more you explore it, the more you penetrate it, the deeper and deeper and deeper layers of self-understanding exists. And the deeper you go into the process, the more you see. So the Lucifer archetype in our charts is showing up and saying, part of the soul's journey has got a specific trajectory, and where Lucifer sits in your chart is in a specific layer of, it's where that flashlight sits of yours and says, here's where's my exploration going to go? Here's where the specificness of my direction is going to be. This is where I'm going to search into myself. So we have an example, okay? So we have somebody that is in this lifetime, that their cycle is about, learning to recognize the patterns of their emotional relatability. And this is a lifetime of recovering certain dynamics where they have been too aware of other people's needs. And now this is a lifetime of progressively recognizing their own needs as a healthy way of balancing their relatability patterns. And you can see that they could have Lucifer show up in the 2nd house of their astrology chart. And this is about the need to, the expression of exploring their inner sense of self through understanding what is essential for them. So the Lucifer in a healthy state can be somebody that has deep wisdom around how their own needs are here to be explored. They explore that. They go into themselves. They experience life. They use the flashlight to go into the darkness of their creation, and they explore their inner psychological and emotional dynamics. They explore the inner nature of their life, and through that process, they gain insight and awareness and growth. Growth, right? You can put a seed in the ground and just leave it there. And at some point, that energy wants to burst through the ground and it wants to reach up. And it's reaching up because the sunlight is the masculine form. It is allowing for that to be nurtured. It is searching for it. It's innately in life. So Lucifer is pulling us out, in and up, into growth, into our awareness that's unique to us, that's specific to us, that's our own personal authority. Now, the problem here, and this is the context of this inspiration, is where do you doubt yourself? Where has the outer world repressed your own sense of authority because Lucifer is not showing up saying, I accept? It says, when I'm awoken, it says, I reject. I reject because I need my own investigation. I need my own personal flashlight. I need my own direct experience. When we reject, when we stand up, when we put a sovereignty around that place where it shows up, the world doesn't know what to do with it. The conditioning field doesn't know what to do with it. Our insecurities don't know what to do with it. So it's blocked. It's said, no, don't do that. Don't believe that. And there was a meme that I shared 2 days ago on my Facebook, and I don't really actually do that quite often, but it was so beautiful because it had two pictures, okay, right on top of each other, or next to each other. And the first picture was with the parent turning to a child and saying, don't bring your imaginary friends with you. They don't exist. Okay? Something along those lines. And you could see the child was in its imagination, in its exploration of its imaginary friend. It was exploring its inner world. And the parent was saying, don't do that. It's not there. There's nothing there. It's not real. And so basically it's saying, don't allow your imagination to be present with you. As a child, it's important to cultivate imagination. As a parent, you develop healthy boundaries for the child at some point through its natural process to come to integrate more into reality. But that's your Saturn. And then the next picture, just below that, it had the mom in church praying and the daughter, which was like 5 years old, going, why am I here? And the same thing applies. It's like the parent says to the child through conditioning, don't have imaginary friends because they don't exist. Stop talking to them. And then the below picture, it's the parent in the church praying to an imaginary friend outside of themselves because it's the authority outside that gives the validation to say, hey, this is where you should be going. And Lucifer says, no, don't want that. Don't want that out of edification. I don't want that out of authority. I want my inner sense of self. I want my body's intelligence. I want my story's intelligence. I want my creative self's intelligence. So as I leave you with today's video, I leave you with the process of finding out where your Lucifer is. 1930 is the asteroid number. And then like contemplating the nature of where your Lucifer shows up and you have an inherent sense of doubt around being yourself because conditioning has said you weren't allowed to be that, because when you were that, you were told that was wrong, or you were creating an issue, or you were challenging things, and you couldn't fully be awakened in that area because of your sovereignty being shut down by an external authority. So where does your light shine in the darkness? What are you awakening in the darkness that nobody can see, that when you bring light to it, it illuminates the collective? It brings the collective into alignment with its own truth. Okay, fantastic, everybody. So don't forget, in the description, I will place Lucifer teaching, as well as a video that shows you how to do your astrology charts and where you can put in the asteroid 1930, okay? Other than that, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.